No, that is not our artist of the week. The one playing music, no. The one in the photo, yes. Just say. Let's just begin from there. So, just like music, comedy evolves. So, I think that may suggest to you, who are guests, a new generation of creators come to the market to stimulate a change in the taste of the audience. You know, when I hear the way comedy is these days, I couldn't help but remember the days of Jacob and Papa Lulu.
Basic.
Yeah.
Just, I want to make you laugh. Full stop.
Yeah. You know, Baba Salah.
Let us hear this one.
Okay.
Now.
All right.
All this tech comedy.
Tech.
We go
So,
hear them.
one of those bringing this new stuff is a comedian called Kojah Kaze. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Is that applause going on like behind, like the soundtrack?
Yes,
like
yes.
Because I
No, just play the applause in your head.
No, we heard it.
That works. Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Kojah
Kaze.
First of all, the name sounds like some actor from Hollywood.
Kojah
Kaze.
Well,
you know.
That is the end goal.
Okay.
To go global. But the good thing about this is that Kaze is my real last name. It's actually pronounced Kaze.
Okay.
But, you know, growing up in Lagos, a lot of people cannot pronounce the name. So,
Kaze.
yes.
That's all. K-A-Z-E.
K-A-Z-E.
People couldn't pronounce K-A-Z-E?
Yeah, people can't pronounce
That's laziness.
People can't pronounce it. Growing up in Lagos, like there are different versions of that name. Kaze, Kaze. So in my head, I just leave Kaze like that. Leave the meaning. The meaning stays the same. Whatever pronunciation you have, hold it. But, you know, the meaning stays the same. And I don't want to inconvenience anybody. Whatever you're most convenient with, Kaze works for you. Carry on.
It's easier.
I see.
It's easier that way. Then Kojah was a nickname from secondary school, and it stuck. So...
What does it mean?
Why?
So I'm very sports savvy. Yeah, I used to play a lot of football, and you know, I know my sport very well. So you know, back in the days during the Kojah Games, the All Africa Games in 2003. Okay. So the Kojah, I think it was the organizing committee. It was a French acronym for Organizing Committee of the All Africa Games. So I think in French it was Organisation de Comité Jeux Afrique or something. Yeah, so a teacher walked in the class at the time, and, you know, somebody had brought the stickers from the games and, you know, pasted it everywhere in the class. And, you know, the teacher said he was going to flog us for, you know, public school at the time. But I was going to flog everybody if nobody would come up with what the meaning of Kojah was at the time. And I did, and, you know, from then on, the name just stuck. So what I did was just change the spelling to suit me. So instead of C-O-J-A, I just changed it to K-O-J-H. Now, coincidentally, many years later on Facebook, I saw somebody send me a friend request with the spelling that I had changed my own Kojah to. Initially, I didn't respond. I waited, this one wants to be my name. Then I later responded. Then he said he was from Kogi. So apparently it was his own real name. Oh. Yeah, so I think Kojah is actually a real name.
Spelled with the H at the end.
Yes, this is his real name. Still my friend on Facebook.
Wow.
Still my
Interesting. Yes, so how did you get into comedy?
Don't tell me it's by accident.
So my whole life, I've always been an expressive and opinionated kid. And I grew up in a home where my opinions were never submerged. Do you understand? They always.
Oh, your mother had time?
Yeah, I've always been very vocal. And, you know, growing up as the last born, you know, you had that immunity.
This is them.
They're not beat you. They're not beat you well.
Funny enough, they beat me well. My mom was gangster. My mom was gangster.
Mom, can you hear him?
My mom was gangster. My mom and my dad were gangster. But then me, I just had my way. I've always been the way I am now. I've always been very vocal and, you know, opinionated and expressive. And the good thing is that my own humor comes from a place of truth. And, you know, I notice that I'm funniest when I'm honest. You know, so it's just like that. It's been that way. I speak my mind, you know, every other time. And, you know, people laugh. We take it. I was going to add that you look way more beautiful in person than, you know, on TV. My dad used to have a crush.
It's okay to blush. Oh, really?
Thank you.
Yeah, yourself and this other woman on NTA, Eugenia Abu, used to speak highly of both of you. Yeah.
And what did that do to you?
Well, so I fell in love with broadcasters at the time. Like your era, you people were amazing. Yourself, Eugenia Abu, Benamisa Opia, Modele Sharafat Yusuf, and the likes. Yes.
He remembers all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there's a generation before them. Julie Coker,
I know, they
Sienna
never
Hall.
put me that time. I don't know all those ones. I'll stick to the ones
You haven't told me how you got into comedy. So you used to be opinionated and outspoken.
So,
yes.
all of this started in church. You know, I was very, 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 very involved in church. As at age 4, I was already like a child star in church. I was doing drama, I was singing, I was doing pretty much everything. And, you know, that also happened in school at the time. I was killing debates, I was singing, I was doing quiz, I was everywhere. So I've always been very arty, if there's a word like that. You know, my parents didn't want to accept it. They could see it. Everybody in the house could see it, but they didn't want to accept it because at the time, the informal sector is not as, you know, viable.
They wanted you to be an engineer.
Doctor. One of my uncles said he was going to take me to America and become a doctor. And I like my family now. I don't want to disappoint them. I tried to fight it. And they knew. They could see it. Everybody could see it. But, you know, the doctor thing, that I made my way to science class and I knew I was beaten about the bush. So when finally I got into university, I was like, okay, this is it. It's my life from this point on.
You actually went to university to read medicine?
No, I did estate management at the University of Lagos.
I wanted to free.
Very chaotic journey. very. I did estate management at the University of Lagos.
You finished?
Well, so you hear that on my show. You hear the rest of the story on my show on Sunday.
Okay. So
you could say the school finished me, but you hear that on my show on Sunday at the Terra Culture.
Okay. You will pay for that market.
What time is that show?
On Sunday, November 5th, 6 p.m. Terra Culture.
6 p.m.
They're encouraging you. I want one deal.
Okay.
How much? I want to go Hollywood, convert to dollars.
Did you hear that?
No, I'm just joking.
I don't want to hear.
So after estate management, you then became a comedian.
So on campus, I was doing this.
And making money out of it?
Well, I wasn't making money. I was getting free barbecue.
It's money.
Cans of energy drink and stuff. So there was no money. I made my first money from all of this. I think it was in my final year, and I think it was 15,000 at the time. Lola paid me that money. Shout out to Lola. She paid me that money at the time, and you know, from that point on, I just knew that this was it.
What was mommy and daddy's reaction when you?
So I lost my dad when I was really young. I think I was about 9 years old.
Okay.
My dad was a bit more liberal. You know, he understood these things. He knew these things.
That's how dads are.
I don't know how he would have taken it if he had lived longer. Do you understand? Because, you know, he was a very liberal man. Looking back now, my dad was actually quite liberal. He did not hold back on a lot of business. He wanted you to conquer the world. He used to tell me that you could find yourself anywhere in the world. But if he had lived longer to see me on all of this, I don't know how, because he was a disciplinarian at the same time. But in the case of my mom, she had lost her husband. You know, it was hard to train, you know, 3 children. And imagine one of the kids saying he wants to be a comedian. That's jokes on you.
You want to kill her?
Do you understand? Like, literally, it looked like I wanted to kill her. And, you know, I'm not the easiest child to raise. I can't even lie. I'm not the easiest child.
Saying that himself?
I'm not the easiest child to raise.
I like
can't
that.
even lie. But, you know, my mom honestly did not think I had a job until, like, 2 years ago. She wasn't convinced. Like, what's this what you do? So I think it was when one of her brother called her on phone and said, which of your pikin they do comedy? And that's somebody she actually respects. Which of your pikin they do comedy? She can't say, you, which work they say you they do? You the comedian.
Which work they say?
Let's see they talk, you could be on top stage. You know, and until, you know, my biggest gigs thus far was, you know, when I got the gig to be the host of Celebration, co-host of Celebration. So, I mean, being on live TV for 1 week straight, you know, she gets calls and screenshots, see your pikin. But she still doesn't rate me. You know, I still go home after all of this to visit her. Go buy fuel. No fuel for church. Nobody rates me in my house. I mean, I'm the last one. They don't, all of that can be outside. But in the house, no, they're not saying, you know. They just see me as the same child they've known all their lives. But, you know, now she's in her acceptance phase.
But you're sending money to her now, so...
I try. I did try. I'm a correct guy.
When you gave her the first, you know, money from your
Allowance.
first gig, how did that sound?
I didn't give her my first money.
From, okay.
I can't even lie. I bought a phone with my first money. It was subsequent, because they didn't even know in the house that, you know, I had taken this serious. I was in school now. They didn't know I had taken it serious, so she didn't even know. It was subsequently, like, later on that, you know, I sent money here, I sent money. And when I finally called for a family meeting and, you know, made the final decision that this was what I wanted to do in my life, she cried. She actually did cry. You know, because expectations...
She was heartbroken.
Yeah, she was heartbroken. Expectations were quite high, because I was a brilliant kid, you know. So
why you won't waste your life like this
you understand?
now?
But, you know, we're here now, and, you know, I think she's enjoying it now, and it's only going to get better from this point on.
So,
that is nice.
I have seen, generally, the comedians on the forefront are quite brilliant.
Yes.
Is that a prerequisite?
So, you know, I like this question very well, because a lot of people think that comedy is a job for riffraffs. I honestly feel that it takes a lot of psychology to be a good comedian. Personally, I feel like comedy is like 60% psychology than every other thing else. Yes, the end goal is to crack people up and make them laugh. But how do you convince me? I don't know you before. I've never met you. You just stand in front of me and say you want to make me laugh. You know what I go through. What's it cost an hour? Do you understand? So it takes a lot of psychology to actually do all of that. You know, having to study people's moods, have your icebreaker and all of that. Like, you have to have a huge, huge wealth of knowledge to even attempt.
Okay. Give us a psyche of a comedian going on stage. 30 seconds before you go, first thing you say, and when you exit.
It's different strokes for different folks, really. People have their different... I'm somebody who drinks a lot of water, for instance.
That's your alcohol?
Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I consume a lot of water. You know, so it's different. I don't have a particular ritual, you know, before I go up on stage. Anyhow it be, let's go. Let's kill it. Let's kill it.
You don't get stage...
Oh, that one is only natural. It's only natural for artists to have stage fright. I mean,
really?
Somebody once said that the day you stop getting stage frights, you're dying.
You're going down.
This is Channels Television. We now go live to the city of David Towers in Victoria Island, Lagos, for the 2023 Arise Women Conference.